Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Your Football Show, and it is time for your Leeds versus Brighton pre-match chat. We're going to do something different this week. We're going to do a pre-recorded one. We're going to do a live one on Saturday evening as well, so make sure you look out for that with some fellow Leeds content creators. And please smash a like on this video, comment, notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. Right, I've just watched the press conference, just hot off the press. It's not filled me with the most amount of confidence. We'll touch a little bit on Brighton in a little bit, but I just want to speak about, first of all, the main talking points from that press conference. Harrison, going to be okay. Rafa, fine. Bamford, too early to tell. For me, Bamford is out. As for Jack Harrison, thinks he'll be okay. It's touch and go, isn't it? We'll have to wait until the lineup comes out on Sunday, whether or not he makes it. We're running out of players now. We're running out of time. Forget praying settings. It's miracle settings right now. It is miracle settings right now. Few things to pick out from the press conference, which I found, again, mad. You know, Jesse Marsch spoke about a lack of discipline. He said he had to ask the question to his coaching staff, are we over-motivating these guys? Are we over-motivating these guys? Is that why they're going into challenges the way they are? Like, why do you even need to ask that? For me, there's an issue. There's an issue. You're over-pumping these players. You're asking them to be ruthless. I was listening to All Stats Aren't We in this talk there about the halftime chat, the Salzburg versus Liverpool one, where he's speaking about, oh, how many fouls have you made? You know, why aren't we crunching into tackles, giving it all this? Well, he's clearly asking that. He's clearly asking that of the players, because snapping people in half is not desire. Let me just say that. You know, he was asked about a lack of discipline. Jesse said, it's not a lack of discipline, it's desire. Wrong. Yeah? Snapping people in half is a lack of discipline. It is idiotic and it is costing the team on the pitch. As we have seen, each sleep, red card, repeat. Yeah? That's what we've seen in the last two games. The last two games were basically a carbon copy. Yeah? So snapping people in half is not desire, Jesse Marsch. It's mad because he even said, like, he feels that's the reason Luke got sent off, because he challenged Martinelli in front of the fans. Because he wanted, you know, to show you that we care. So in other words, you know, fans, stop being overzealous, because it's your fault you were in that corner. It's your fault that Luke went flying in and smashed Martinelli like he did. No, Luke Ayling is a professional footballer. He has cost his team just like Dan James has. They're both out for the rest of the season. We are without personnel. Injuries continue to happen. Whether or not you lay that blame at Bielsa's door, Jesse's door, whatever, the squad is threadbare. So the last thing we need to be doing is piling even more pressure on these players and saying, do you know what? Smash them. Smash them. Because the fact that you have to ask your coaching team, are we over-motivating these players, tells me all you need to know. And just one more thing as well. He was asked by the press if he felt that this was one of the biggest games Leeds United have had at Ellen Road in their past history. And to be fair to him, he said, to be honest, I don't know much about the history before I came here. I did watch the documentary though. Yo, my guy, right? My guy, Marcelo Bielsa. I did it. I don't care. I won't apologise for it. Watched a full campaign of 46 games prior to coming to this football club. Jesse watched the documentary. This is where we're at. I'm sorry. This is where we're at. This is why I don't have any sort of faith into what's to come at the weekend. I am crapping myself. Honestly, I'm crapping myself. I don't know what the plan's going to be. I don't know what the personnel's going to be. And that's why, you know, and we're coming up against an awesome Brighton side. And look, I didn't give it enough credence after the post-match, because it came right at the end, the post-match after Chelsea game. But another reason why I don't have much confidence going in is because the manager, Jesse, was saying in them last couple of games, if you take out the red cards, we've played well. That's flat-out delusion, man. And listen, you people call me deluded all the time for my thoughts about the previous guy, yeah, which is fair enough. But you, hand on heart, must know, looking at them last performances, that even if them red cards are not happening, we still get battered. He said we started well against Chelsea. We conceded within 4 minutes. That's not starting well. Do you know what I mean? I just hope and pray that we can keep this game 0-0 at least up until half-time. And what's paramount going into this fixture is the first goal. And Brighton have won all 4 league away games this term. in which they've led at half-time. So best believe that Leeds United, if we go down, early, then we're not getting back in the game because we've not done it. We've not done it this season. I mean, at home, we have only claimed one win in 8 attempts. In 8 attempts. You know what I mean? And all them losses have come after we've conceded first. So the fact that Brighton, if they're leading at half-time, they go on and win the game. The fact that if we concede first, we just fold like a cheap suit, then we've got to keep it tight. And maybe we might see a coherent plan from Jesse. If we don't concede so early, if we don't fly into challenges and hack man down and get sent off, maybe we might see something. But for me, this is a game where we can't be resting on our laurels. We can't be saying, let's stay in the game for 70 minutes. This is Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, I do say that, not as a disrespect, but if Leeds United want to stay in the division, you've got to win at home against Brighton. You've got to. Burnley are away at Spurs. You've got Brighton at home. Brighton, a fantastic side. I'm not being disrespectful towards them, but you will look back in history and say, we had Brighton at home to stay in the division and we bottled it. That's not good, man. That's not good. You have to beat Brighton and Hove Albion at home. And look, we desperately need points to avoid the drop. All we need to do between now and these next 2 games is better Burnley's results. Burnley play Spurs down in London at the weekend. They're going to lose that game. If you watched Spurs last night, they were flying in the London derby. Surely they win at home. This is the time for me where we need to take advantage because I'm really, really worried about that Brentford game. We have to get something at the weekend. Even if it's a point, we can't leave this game on 0. We can't leave this game on 0. And what is the plan? Like I said, what is the plan going into these games? My man got lambasted for not having a plan B. Leeds United don't have a plan B. We need a plan B. Well, this coach hasn't even got a plan A. There is no plan going into games. If you can tell me what it is, then I will give you some dollar. Because I don't know. And I'm saying that sometimes I don't think the players know. Rafinha took a bit of a bashing in that last game because of how poor he was. He was being played out of position, but if you watch the patterns of play, the balls goes out to him. He is under strict instructions to then play that into the centre of the park. I'm assuming there's supposed to be a player stood there that will then pop him off on a run. That doesn't happen because there's no one in the centre of the park. That's where the majority of our players are supposed to be, but it's not happening. It's almost like it's a scripted movement. Ball comes to Rafinha, you pop it into the centre. Maybe he should be taking a look first of all and using his own footballing brain. But if you're being asked by the coach to do a specific thing, he seems to be doing that, So I want to cut the guy some slack there. There's a lot of people saying he don't want to be here and that. I don't see that. I personally don't see that. He wants to keep this club up. Of course, he's going to move on anyway. But listen, what I will say for sure, please do not start him at right wing back at the weekend. I mean, what even formation are Leeds going to go with? Will we go with that back line again? It's going to be interesting to see. I think for me, personally, I'd just go back to what we know best. I'd go 4-1-4-1. I'd go 4-1-4-1. And the reason I say that is because you're going to get the best out of the players that you have at your disposal. You're going to have Calvin shielding a back four again, having so much space for him to be able to work in. There is moments against Chelsea, he picks up the ball and he's got Dan James within a couple of, yards of him. You know what I mean? Calvin needs space to work in. We're almost getting Calvin settings pre-Bielsa, genuinely. The guy is known for picking it up in spaces, either popping it off to the centre-back or heat-seeking ball out to the wing. And we know that he can deliver a decent ball. If you're playing so narrow and so compact, you are taking away his best attribute. If you are playing your best winger in defence, you are taking away your best attributes. Instead of Rafinha being isolated up against a Cucurella, he's marking him. Instead of him being isolated up against Alonso, against Chelsea, being able to take him on, he's the one getting marked and getting found in no man's land. Them fullbacks this weekend worry me because we play so narrow. Junior Firpo has to start. Strout shouldn't be playing at left wing back. Junior Firpo has to start. He actually did well, to be fair to him, when he did come on. This is what I'm saying. This constant in and out of players don't do well for the confidence. If you're going to back Rodrigo like you've come in and give him control and said he's part of a leadership group and he's playing well, making him feel good about himself, keep playing him then. Keep playing him. If you're going to hang your hat on him, I wouldn't. But if you're going to hang your hat on him, do that. Stop chopping and changing because it's not doing anything for anyone. But for me, I'd go 4-1-4-1 Meslier in goal. I'd play Shackleton at right back. I'd have a centre-back partnership of Cooper and Llorente. I'd have Junior Firpo left back. I'd put Calvin in the DM, as we know. I'd have Bate. I'd have Click. You'd have to play Click. He'd do better in that formation anyway. There's something happened with him and Marsh. They're clearly not getting on. On the right, Rafinha, Harrison on the left, and Joffrey up top. So I don't think we get Bamford. I've been off Rodrigo. But I don't think he'll go like that. Will he go with a back five again? You know, will he have Struijk, Koch, Llorente, or Struijk, Koch, Cooper? I mean, if he does go with that back five, no James, don't play Rafinha right wing back, put Koch there. And I know that said was poor, but I would much prefer that because now he can't even turn to James or start Shackleton. But he's clearly not on that. He's clearly not on that. I just don't know what we do. Do you know what I mean? And listen, we don't have a great record against Brighton. You know, Brighton come to town, right? And we have yet to beat them in the Premier League. Yeah. Or even scored against them since returning to the top flight. This is probably the one game that I'm happy Bielsa's not in charge. And the reason I say that is because he does not have a good record against Graham Potter. Graham Potter is an elite coach, and I'd like to see him manage England one day. I'd love him at Leeds United, but that's never going to happen now. That ship sailed. Not that it was ever in port, but, you know, there was maybe an option if we'd have progressed the manner in which we should have. But Brighton are in a better fettle than us. He goes to the top for me. But yeah, he always had Bielsa's number. Hopefully, Jesse, it's different. You know what I mean? But Brighton, this chat of them on the beach, they're not. They've just thumped Man United 4-0. They're charging towards their best ever finish with a record Premier League points haul. And look, they have one defeat in 7 Premier League games, winning 4 of them and drawing 2. They're a top side. You know what I mean? A really, really top side. And you know, they're the elite. Some of the wins they've had away from home have come at the Emirates, have come away at Spurs. You know what I mean? They are no joke. They are no joke. And I hope and pray and hope that a miracle can happen. I just don't have a belief that it will, because I don't know how we're going to shape up, what we're going to look like, what the tactics are, what Jesse's going to do in terms of personnel. I just don't know. That is the answer. And I wish I knew. I wish I could give you more. But that's where we're at. I don't know what we do on the footy pitch anymore. You know what I mean? Because we're not seeing it. I think if we are to get a win, it's going to be tight. You know what I mean? It's going to be tight. There's been less than 2.5 goals in 5 of the last 5 meetings between these two sides. Of course, Brighton haven't lost in 3. They haven't even conceded in 3. So it's going to be mega tight. I think it's going to be 1-0 either way. I just hope and pray for a miracle that it's Leeds United's way. You know, maybe it'll come from a set piece. Maybe it'll come from a set piece late on or something. But can you imagine the nerves? I just don't know. I don't know what to expect. But regardless of what the plan is, you know, regardless, them players have to drag us through this game. You know, I'm speaking to Calvin. I'm speaking to Rafinha. Who else? The rest of them. I mean, young Lewis Bate, Gelhardt, go be a star. Cooper, just someone say, we have to get through this game. If you are not up for this game, how can you be up for it? And I mean, when I say up for it, I mean up for it. Not, let's show them how much we care, right? Smashing into players and having to go at the referee. Come on. You're professional footballers. It's miracle settings for Leeds United. Brighton is such a difficult game, but it's one we have to win. We have to win. And as I say, it's miracle settings. It's Sunday, so whatever deity you pray to, then do that. Then do that. Because, you know, we need something. We need something. Jesse needs to let the handbrake off. He needs to let the handbrake off, because I would say the best game we've had under Jesse Marsh was Leicester, when he tightened it up at the back, got rid of the man marking and left them to do what they knew to do under Bielsa. I'd revert back to that. Even if you're not going to go with a 4-1-4-1 and keep it your formation and play narrow, just say to them, what we did against Leicester, we're going to do that, right? Because then you might get a result. But like I say, Brighton scare the living daylights out of me. They're flying at the minute. I spoke to my man at the Seagull Socials, Ryan. He gave me their lineup. He thinks it'll be Sanchez in goal. Solly Marsh, Lewis Dunk, Joel Veltman, Cucurella, Bissouma, Saicedo, Gross, McAllister, Trossard and Welbeck. Maybe Lamptey will come in there as well. There might be a change there from midfield potentially. And they'll play with back three of March, Dunk, Veltman, Cucurella, and then Lamptey. I mean, if I'm Graham Potter, I'm playing Lamptey and Cucurella all day, every day, because we've seen how narrow we play, and they just get so much joy up against Firpo and what will be a makeshift right back, whoever he decides to go with. I honestly am petrified of the game. I don't have any belief. I want to, but I just don't. So, yeah, miracle settings, hope and praying. I will be doing a live preview tomorrow evening with some fellow Leeds content creators, so look out for that. Like the video, get your comments in, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.